All right, let's see. How are we doing today? Looks like we're striking out with today's Wi-Fi connection at the coffee shop. So I've had to switch over to a hotspot on my iPhone, and that's why I've been running a little behind schedule today. Sorry about that. We're only 16 minutes late. That's not bad. But I do have an excellent connection so far using my iPhone hotspot. The Lamppost Coffee Shop Wi-Fi is screwy today. In and out. Sometimes it happens. It's not real stable. Some days I have excellent connection throughout the entire live stream, and then there's other times when I don't. So what are you going to do? Fly by the seat of your pants. That's what you get for live streaming in a public location from a coffee shop. You have to put up with all of these little problems that come up along the way, but that's okay. I don't mind. My name is Mitch. I'm coming to you from a coffee shop in the Austin, Texas area, and we talk social media. We talk YouTube stuff. Interest media is what some people would call it now, because it's more about, especially on YouTube, but the way the algorithm works, it's more about shoving videos toward you based on your interest rather than who you follow. So subs and followers and likes and all that stuff I don't pay attention to anyway. I just try to create content. That's my philosophy. That's my way of creating content, is not get all caught up in looking at the analytics and looking at all the likes and worrying about the subs and all that kind of stuff. It'll drive you nuts. It'll drive you absolutely insane. So I kind of hate that I've lost my iPhone camera, because I'm using it for a hotspot. So it's just this one lone view. You're going to have to stare at me all day. Sorry about that. But that's the name of the game. That's the way it goes. What can I say? Well, what are we going to talk about today? You need to get into chat. Give me something to talk about. We're here to talk about YouTube, growing YouTube channels, social media, TikTok, Instagram, all that kind of good stuff. So let me know what you think. Let me know what's going on. While I'm waiting for folks to hop into chat, I do have some things we can talk about, of course. I've always got to have something to talk about. I can't sit here and talk to myself for an hour, so I guess I could. But people would start staring at me if I talked to myself here in the coffee shop for an hour, so I better come up with something else to talk about. Here's my notes for today. We're in this update odds and ends part of the broadcast right now. And I'm not sure what all is going on in your world. I know in mine it's cloudy outside and it's cold. But we're in a warming trend now in the Austin area, so things will continue to warm up over the next week to 10 days. We had a very cold night, got down to 31 degrees the other night. But things will continue to warm up nicely, I hope, over the next few days. So there's that. If you're having to survive the snow, survive the ice, I'm sorry. You need to move south toward Texas. I'm thinking about spending January and February in the Mission-McAllen area, way down south tip of Texas. Down there, the temperatures are 10 to 15 degrees warmer, and they very rarely, if ever, get snow. I don't think it has snowed there in 100 years. So that might be a good place to spend January and February. That's what I'm thinking about. Because Austin can get cold. Austin can freeze. I know that. So, well, all last week we talked about building our personal brand. And I've been dealing with that myself in terms of building a brand and trying to solidify my presence online. Because we've got the major platforms that we talk about. We've got the 7, platforms like Instagram. We've got Facebook. Can you name the 7? Let's see if we can name the 7. We've got, let's see if I can get my thumb out. Here we got YouTube. We've got Facebook. We've got TikTok. We've got LinkedIn. We've got X. That's 5. We've got Instagram, which is 6. And Snapchat, most people talk about as the 7th. So that's the 7 platforms. And I'm all active on 6 of the 7. Snapchat I haven't quite figured out yet. Snapchat is sort of a weird one. Whenever I get on Snapchat, I have a brain fart. It really is a little bit different. So I'm still working on Snapchat, but I am on the other 6. And so in terms of personal branding, and trying to sort of get some consistency in terms of your likeness and your message, you want to sort of keep those the same on all the platforms. Consider yourself McDonald's. You're like McDonald's with the golden arches. If you're going to be on all of those platforms, you're going to have your own version of the golden arches where you don't come across as a different person on every platform. Your approach may be different because the platforms are different. LinkedIn is certainly different than TikTok, and TikTok is different than Facebook. So you're going to have some variation there in terms of your approach, but in terms of who you are and what your message is and what your brand is, that should stay pretty consistent. So what I've tried to do is go in, and I spent the weekend going through all of my accounts and trying to at least bring them within the umbrella of my brand of Aiken Digital Media. So I've got Aiken Media or Aiken Digital Media that shows up on everything on my accounts. And I've kind of have that as my umbrella brand. So, and it helps. It helps. It has helped me to sort of get this thing figured out, because I've got Aiken Digital Media as the overarching brand. I've got a logo and I've got all that kind of good stuff. And then under that, I've got my YouTube channels. And I've got a Patreon page. And I've got what I just have as other social media sites, which would be Facebook and all that stuff. Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn and what else? Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, TikTok. And so what I did over the weekend was I made sure that each of these had some sort of connection, or at least some sort of link, or mainly in the bio. I wanted to make sure that this was consistent through all the bios. And I changed, an X. And so most of these have either Aiken Media, because a lot of these aren't available. You know, when you start trying to change these names around, a lot of these aren't available. So you have to be creative. But most of these have Aiken Media or my full name, and that's it. in terms of usernames. So those are pretty consistent on all the social medias. And then my Patreon page is at myname.com. That's my main.com. And then under YouTube, I've got 4 channels. And in terms of the 4 channels, I also came up with a similar name for those other than the one we're on now. The channel we're on now, of course, is Even Rabbits. It's sort of an outlier, because Even Rabbits is basically social media and YouTube talk is what we're doing now. And then I've got 3 other channels. I've got Mitch and his art. I've got Mitch and his van. And I've got Mitch and his video library. And this library channel is just sort of a dumping place for me to put all of the videos that don't fit anywhere else. This channel is about my purchase of a van and hitting the road, becoming a van lifer. And then I've got Mitch and his art, since I'm an artist, and I've got 2 degrees, 2 fine art degrees. I spent all that money and time becoming an artist, so I need to take advantage of that. And so that's the way all of this has been sort of organized, and it all falls under the umbrella of Aiken Digital Media. Isn't that exciting? I know you're just thrilled to death to see the way I've organized all of this stuff, but it does help if you're going to build. You're talking about a brand here. It does help to sort of solidify how you're going to get yourself across to the people on social media. So that's the way I'm doing it as for now. So does that make sense? I don't know if it does or not. Let's hope it makes sense. But anyway, that's what I'm doing, and I'm sticking to it. Well, let's see. What else were we going to talk about today? Need to bring up some music. Help with the background noise of the cafe. Maybe that'll help. Does that help or not? Let me know in chat. How's it sound? So in terms of the personal brand, that's my personal brand update. Now I came across a Simon Cowell article this morning. In fact, I think I saw it this morning. And I wanted to take a look at it because it points out something very interesting. Simon Cowell's 10-second secret. And it's this idea where is he? It's this idea right here. See that? Simon Cowell revealed how he can predict a singer's success or failure within the first 10 seconds of an audition. Does that sound familiar? If you're a YouTuber talking about making videos and content on social media, that 10 seconds should sound familiar. What's interesting that Simon Cowell in the music industry, in terms of auditions, is sort of dealing with the same idea, how important that first 10 seconds is, and whether or not you can tell You can tell within the first 10 seconds of a video whether you're going to stay or not for a while. The 10 seconds is an eternity on YouTube. Very interesting. He goes on to say here a little further down the line, if I can find it. Right here, he says, if you've got the audience behind you, you can feed off the audience's energy and everything changes. It's sort of like going viral. It's the equivalent of going viral on YouTube. Everything changes when that singer, that entertainer is in front of a live audience and the audience really becomes engaged. And you can feed off that energy. And of course, that's what we all want. We all want to go viral. We want to feed off the energy of our audience and get them involved, to get them engaged. And it's similar both in the music industry and creating content on social media. It's very interesting. And it has to do, I guess, with audience dynamics and the dynamics of a viewer and the way a person looks at content and how fast they can decide and how you can decide within the first few seconds on whether something's going to be successful or not. Pretty interesting. Well, in addition, I also listened to what Chris Wright had to say yesterday about artificial intelligence and the CEO of YouTube. Evidently, the CEO of YouTube is buying into artificial intelligence, and he's really supportive of the role of AI on YouTube, which at first glance makes you think that might be a mistake. YouTube is just going to be full of slop, full of garbage, full of junk. And you can already tell the stuff that you see on YouTube, a lot of it is, especially in the shorts, a lot of it is just garbage created by AI. But then on the other hand, you think, well, AI is a good tool to have. Well, let's hear what Chris has to say. You know who Chris Wright is? He's also known as Critical. He was real popular as a gamer early on. He's YouTube and social media original from years ago. He's been online for a decade and he's built up quite an audience. Look at the numbers here. As of July 2025, he's received over 12 billion, that's with a B as in boy, 12 billion views and 17.5 million subscribers, averaging 151 million views a month. So he basically has this great personality and this entertaining way of talking about trends, and I think he began as a gamer, had a big following as a gamer. So if you're not familiar with Chris Wright, you need to follow him on YouTube because he makes some interesting comments here. And I thought we would take a look at what he had to say concerning the CEO of YouTube and his acceptance of artificial intelligence.
The ability to do so. Basically, go to YouTube Shorts and look at all of the incredible stuff that the skillless have been able to do with AI. We've been blessed, thank God. It's a topic most people have been complaining about, especially when it comes to short-form content, because all you get fed is AI gobbledygook, like actual nonsense trash. Because it's the easiest thing to just fart out onto the platform. It's infinite content, and when you just scroll, most of the videos you get are AI these days. And the most viewed videos, like if you, instead of just anecdotal evidence about like most videos you get, provably, some of the most viewed videos, if you go by views, are AI-generated shorts. That is a bleak future, one that a lot of people have expressed their concern over, hoping that YouTube would step in and maybe do more to stop the platform just becoming a cesspool of just AI trash.
Okay, what do you think? Get into chat and let me know what you think. Do you think YouTube has got to put a damper on AI-created content? Or are they accepting it as a tool and wanting it to be an assistant to creators and make YouTube much more open and accessible to people who don't really have much of a talent?
Neil, on the other hand, the CEO, believes that that's actually a really good thing, because it's giving people that lacked the skills and equipment the ability to put that in front of you. Yeehaw, yippee. But even beyond that, one of the most complained about things on YouTube as a platform is how bad its moderation is, with so many people being falsely banned and shit. And also it's been revealed that AI is part of a big part of the moderation protocol for the platform, and it makes so many mistakes that's led to wrongful terminations that everyone with a functioning frontal lobe will tell you should never happen, because AI should never be able to be the judge, jury, and executioner. It should never have the ability to terminate a channel. There is no world where that makes sense for YouTube to just give the keys to the kingdom over to AI where it will ban people. AI should never be able to do that. If it wants to use AI for moderation, it should only be able to flag channels internally and then put that up the food chain, up the ladder, for a human being to look at. But Neil seems to have a different vision in mind based on his statement here. Let's go ahead and take a peek at what he thinks. This article mentions that YouTube is expanding their AI moderation tools, even in the midst of so many people flagging just how bad they have been and how wrong they have been across the entire platform. The article then makes a mention of just how much money this platform is bringing in, which only makes sense that they can't afford to pay more money for better tools. Instead, they just need to just have AI do it poorly for them. Neil said, however, AI will open the door for a new class of creators who previously lacked technical skills or equipment, arguing the tech will revive YouTube's early era of enthusiastic amateurs while helping the platform surface stronger content overall. That's a very interesting perspective on it all, and I feel like that's one you could only achieve by huffing endless amounts of glue to deteriorate your brain to a level of delusion that I find almost enviable. You really think that by giving these AI tools to everyone out there, what you are getting in return is the old era of YouTube of enthusiastic amateurs producing content? In what universe?
Yeah, I agree. Back in the old days, people were getting on YouTube for the fun of it. It was much more creative, much more personal, much more human-based in terms of, it was just people getting online and streaming and posting videos made up in their bedroom or walking down the street. It was the time where people were just, they were just posting for the fun of it. And for some reason, the CEO of YouTube thinks that AI is going to bring in this new era of content creators who are unskilled like it was in the old days, and it's going to help them become involved.
Stories daily about the fuck-ups from AI moderation tools. What I do agree with him, though, is that given the scale of this platform, it would be impossible for humans to be able to police all of it. And that's something I've said from the get-go. This could be an invaluable tool in accumulating a lot of potential bad actors or internal flags. But under no circumstances should AI have the ability to make a judgment call on if a channel gets terminated. It should never have the ability to issue a strike. What it should do is alert a real flesh and blood human being, an employee, God forbid, doing their job, to look at what has been flagged and analyze it to see, is this actually violative content? Because right now we have so many examples of AI messing it up. It's been making big boo-boos, big whoops-a-daisies daily. And they are easily overturned once a human being is alerted to the mistake.
The question is, though, when you've got so many people posting videos and so many people who are creating content on YouTube, how in the world, even if you narrowed it down, how in the world do you have enough people to humanly look at all of the potential problems? Even if you narrowed it down to, say, 100,000 a month, how many people would you need to hire to look personally by human eyeballs at 100,000 pieces of content a month?
That's who I want to put my trust in.
Just not possible.
Someone that Roger Goodell is saying really has a good handle on it. He's got this industry by the titties. Take my word for it. He understands what he's trying to build. He's got a deep understanding of the media landscape and where YouTube fits and where content can help him advance
Yeah,
his
Roger
strategies.
Goodell.
He is right in that last part.
What
Neil
an
knows
idiot.
exactly what he wants. He wants YouTube to be very AI focused. I think that's pretty clear given the direction that he seems to be pushing it. I also can't help but giggle very hard at that first sentence about how he has always been known for his willingness to dig into the weeds of an issue and really understand it. Since when? When has that started? What did I miss that somewhere along the way? Because even with this issue with AI moderation, I haven't seen him call out anything with it or make any big, bold changes. It's still in the exact same state it was fucking at the very beginning. Like, I don't see Neil really getting into the weeds of any of it. Like, what are you talking about? He's a guy who's more than willing to plug his ears to it and just let it ride until there's enough of a hubbub about it on Twitter, then someone will step in and fix it for him. Now, just to give you a whole picture of what was said here in the interview, he's optimistic about the implications of AI for his company in the world, believes YouTube could see a return to the early villagey days when it was populated by a higher proportion of exuberant amateurs, which I've already completely dove into by this point, but just wanted you to see what was actually said in the article itself. AI will create an entirely new class of creators that today can't do it because they don't have the skills or they don't have the equipment. Again, they are not the ones doing it with these AI tools, Neil. It is the AI doing it for them based off of a couple of sentences. I wouldn't necessarily say that harkens back to the days of the early villagey days when YouTube was populated by a higher proportion of exuberant amateurs, Neil. It's so fucking silly. But the same rule will apply, which is there will be good content and bad content, and it will be up to YouTube and our investment in technology and algorithms to bring that to the fore. That's true, Neil. Now, can you point out some of the good AI content you're trying to describe here? Because I don't think that shit exists. It is very much the entire purpose of it to be cheap, easy, and infinite, and that is how it is being used on YouTube right now. Go on your own platform, Neil, and scroll TikToks for just 15 seconds. You're only going to be seeing a ton of trash, mostly AI. Like, come on, man. Like, snap back to reality. This is ridiculous. And at the very least, do the bare minimum of restricting AI moderation tools' ability to ban creators. That shouldn't be allowed. That should just straight up be illegal. Like, I really think that should be a fucking crime to have YouTube knowingly allowing AI, which has a very provable track record of being wrong and making mistakes, be the one to take away entire people's livelihoods like that without any human oversight. That should not be allowed under any fucking circumstances. That needs to be fixed right now, Neil. Maybe instead of doing Time Magazine interviews, that should be like on the top layer of your priorities, I would hope. Because it is just unacceptable and it is out of control. It's happening daily. It's not in this perfect state you seem to think it is, and it doesn't seem like it's improving literally every single week like you say it is. Anyway, this interview made me upset, and I wanted to yap about it. That's about it. See ya.
Yep. Well, so what do you think? We're living in interesting times because of this artificial intelligence and the way technology is starting to rear its ugly head, just the way the internet itself changed everything when it really became big back in the late 80s, early 90s. It was a world game changer. Well, AI is even going to be a bigger problem, if you call it that. It's going to be a bigger change. Things are really going to start changing around us infinitely faster with AI. And so I don't know, what do you think? AI as a tool can be a tool. It can help It can help people who don't have the skills or the talent to do certain things. AI will do it for them. And I thought I'd just give you an example. We're going to run up to Google LM here in a minute, and I'm going to show you just how fast AI can help you do something here. You may be aware of Google LLM, and you may not be, but we're going to find out. And I want to show you just how fast something can be created. Let me find my browser. There we go. Okay, let's say for argument's sake, I'm strolling through Facebook and I see a video that's going to teach me how to do something. Let's see. Well, let me switch over to my other account here. We'll get us a better. This will have more teaching stuff on it, more internet stuff under my Even Rabbits account. Let's say, for example, oh, I don't know, why you should write a book. Let's say I'm strolling along and I see the YouTube recession has begun. YouTube views are crashing. Do this now. All right, here we've got a 40-minute video. YouTube views are crashing now. I'm going to click on that.
Algorithms change. Platforms evolve.
And let's say I don't want to watch this 40-minute video. What can I do? Well, I can go into share. I can copy that. I can copy the URL to the video. I can come up here to Google LLM. I can create a new notebook. Under YouTube, I'm going to paste the URL. Insert. Now it's going to create me a notebook, and what this is going to do is going to look at that video. It's going to pull the transcript from that video, and then I've got all of these options here. I can make a video overview. You see it generating right here. I can do all kinds of reports. I can do a briefing document. You'll notice it's generating right here. I can do what else can we do? Just whatever you want. You can make a blog post. You can do a white paper, a beginner's guide, a study guide, a concept explainer. We can do let's do a beginner's guide. I've got all three of those things generating now. Now, while those are generating, we'll come back to it. Because you'll notice the briefing has already generated. It's pretty quick. It'll take a little bit longer to do the video and the generating report. You can also create a podcast where you'll have two people on a podcast interview who are going to talk about whatever is on this video. If I click on the briefing doc, you can see it right here. This is the content of that 40-minute video broken down that I can read later. If I want to, I can go through here, and everything in here is broken down and summarized for me based on that video. So why do I want to spend 40 minutes watching it when I can do this? Go back to the studio. We're going to give that a couple of minutes and we'll come back to it. But do you see what I'm saying? This is what you call AI generated content, taking a YouTube video and I don't have to watch it. If I don't want to spend 40 minutes watching your video, I'll just take it over to Google LLM and we'll have it give me a summary. and I can just read the summary at my leisure later on. Save the time. Now, what I want to show you is the video this thing generates. Now, it's an AI generated video that will come with an audio narration. It's like a slideshow with audio in the background. And it is horrible. I'll admit it's terrible. And it's what some people would call AI slop. But there will be people, because the information is good, there will be people who will watch it. And so you can take a YouTube video, like we saw, take it to Google LM, have them do a video, and then you can post that video on your channel. It's a summary of the YouTube, of the content that someone else has spent their time and money creating. It's a big cheat, I admit. Well, if we go back up now to the browser here, you can see here we've got your first 100 viewers are more important than your first million. We've got this briefing doc. We've got this other shifting briefing report here that sort of takes the same content, puts it in a different format, sort of breaks it down in a different way. What I'm waiting on is this generating video. And while we're waiting on that generating video, I want to show you one that I did earlier, and I posted it to my website. I mean my Even Rabbits channel. Here it is right here. This was done in exactly the same way. This entire thing was done.
Business. Maria made a grand total of $63.
This is
Today,
Google LLM.
She's averaging close to $800,000 a month. Yeah, you heard that right. That contrast, that insane jump, is exactly why her story is so compelling and really worth listening to.
So the big question is, how on earth does that happen? And I can tell you, it wasn't some kind of lottery win or overnight fluke. It was a very specific series of personal crises and business aha moments that literally forged a clear, repeatable path. And that's the path we're going to map out for you right now.
To really get how she got to where she is, you have to understand the journey. And it's so important to know that the beginning was...
Okay, you see what's going on here. I created this entire video, thumbnail, went to Google LLM to create the content and the slideshow part of it, took it into Premiere Pro, added some music, and the whole thing took me about 20 minutes. I created this entire video here in about 20 minutes. Is it AI slop? Probably. Yeah, it's not all that great. It's just sort of a slideshow with a guy narrating it in the background. But the point is, what if you did 2 or 3 of these a day, and over a period of a month you had 50 or 60 of these just uploaded to your YouTube channel in terms of content? Do you think 1 or 2 of those would start getting views? Probably. Well, let's go back now and check and see if this one on the one we were working on, let's see if it's come up. Nope, still working. It should come in here in a minute, but I wanted to see it. What I did was I saw a video, and I went through the same process. I brought it into Google, and in fact, it's probably... I wonder how I get back to my list. It's probably on my main list of I think if I go, let's see. When it first starts, you get a list of all my notebooks right here. These are all the notebooks I created on LLM. And I guess this is the one single mom millionaire. This is the one that I posted to my channel right here. And this is the, here's the video.
All right, let's get right into it. We are going to break down the absolutely incredible story of Maria Wendt, who managed to turn just $63 into a massive digital product empire. And what we've done is distill her entire journey into a powerful step-by-step.
But you can see it created it there. I wanted to see if this other one, it's taken a while to generate it. Well, it was a 40-minute video. But I wanted to see how it broke it down. Well, you get the idea here is, you can see what Chris was talking about in terms of AI slop and how AI will help somebody like me who is lazy, doesn't want to do anything himself, wants to take advantage of all the AI tools available to get content on my channel. I have no talent, I have no skill, so I can go in and use all of these tools and create content for my channel without having to do much of anything. All I've got to do is basically copy and paste. Now, I did have to, now in terms of what I did take it into Premiere Pro and I did some editing and added some music, but it didn't take me 5 minutes to add some music. And I put a little closing credit on there to make it look a little bit more finished. But the point is, you can see what Chris was talking about here, about using AI to easily and quickly generate content without having any talent or any skill. And so what you're going to do is you're going to end up with a lot of slop, and you're going to have a lot of people taking your content and repackaging it. I mean, here is a 40-minute video that was produced and uploaded by Think Media. Took them all kinds of work to put that 40-minute video together, and I took their content, repackaged it, resubmitted it, re-uploaded it, and it took about less than 20 minutes. Now, the ethical part of this is something to think about. What are the ethics here? Is that something I should be doing? Should I be taking someone else's content and repackaging it, putting a different slant to it, running it through an AI-generated platform and spitting out the summary of it, and then adding music and repackaging it in a different way, and taking all of their hard work and resubmitting it, re-uploading it on my channel? So you have to think about the ethics of that as well. So where do you stand on that? Well, it looks like it's still generating here, but I guess you get the idea. Maybe here in a minute it will behave. Well, we'll check back on it here in a minute and see what's happening. In the meantime, jump into chat. Let me know what you're doing. Let's kind of reboot here. My name is Mitch. I'm coming to you live from the Lamppost Coffee Shop, Austin area. We come to you on Tuesdays and Thursdays, 2 p.m. Central Standard Time, and we talk social media, YouTube, and all that kind of stuff. Whatever else comes up. We have no real plan. We just want to talk YouTube. We want to think through this. And I've been thinking about my own reasons for doing these live streams or doing content in general. And I think I have discovered that a lot of reasons I do this kind of stuff is because it helps me. It's very selfish. It forces me to think through my own beliefs and my own values, and it helps me determine how I want to go about creating content and creating a business online and all of those kinds of things in terms of generating income and the ethics behind it, the philosophy behind it. If I didn't have content to create, or if I wasn't forced by doing a live stream to come up with these ideas and these thoughts, then I would probably be too lazy to work through these issues. But when you're creating content and you're making a presence online and you're uploading content to all these various platforms, you're forced to think through these issues, think through these things, and come up with a sort of a personal philosophy, a personal ethical way of going about creating content. And you've got to decide for yourself what kinds of things you will create and how you'll create them and how you'll use artificial intelligence to help you create. And I see AI as a really valuable tool, but like any tool, it can be misused. So I think we're in a day and age right now. We're in an era of working our way through this thing. Everything is just too new right now. We're in the beginning stages of the AI revolution and how it's going to change the way we do business. And I think we're still learning. We're still trying to decide for ourselves how all of this is going to work its way out. And it's the same way we felt when the internet first came around. I remember I got on the internet back in 92, I guess it was 92, 93, when it was just a dial-up on a phone. And you dialed up on the phone and you were able to connect, and everything was pretty much text-based. You had text come up on your screen, and you could play games and look for information, and you could actually read a book that was on the internet that would come up on your screen, but everything was basically text-based. And look how far we've come since then, since 92, 93. Now give that same amount of time to the artificial intelligence revolution and see what things are going to be possible down the road. 10, 15, 20 years from now, it's going to be quite different. We're going to be living in a different world than we are now, and it's got us all scared. Well, all right, looks like it's finally gone through here. I wanted to see it. This is the video that was created.
Okay, so if you're a creator, I'm betting you felt it. That little pit in your stomach when you check your analytics and the numbers just aren't hitting like they used to. Well, I've got some good news. Even if your views are down, your income really doesn't have to be. So let's dive into this 5-step playbook for what the creator economy is going to look like.
First things first, let's just get real for a second. Are your YouTube views down? If you're nodding your head right now, you are not alone. I promise. This is something that's happening across the entire platform, from channels that are just starting out to creators with millions of subscribers. It's a huge shift, and the first step to beating it is understanding it.
Look, the game has totally changed. The old way of thinking, that more views automatically equals more success, or that you have to chase these viral hits, or that you can just depend on one platform, that's a recipe for disaster now.
Okay, you get the idea. This is what was generated from this content that I uploaded from that YouTube. So we went from here to here and created this here, along with all those other reports that are available. All of this stuff is available. Anything that we create, we've got all these options that we can create. And then if I want to, I can take this video that was created and I can download it right here. And now I have it. And it's basically a narrated slideshow based on that content, and I can repackage it. And if I wanted to and really spend some time on it, I could probably add some B-roll to it and add some other video clips and sort of play around with it, and then post it to my channel. And again, you have to think about the ethics of the whole thing. Is this ethical. Something to think about. And then I still am trying to think through that myself. So, what do you think? Let me know if you're in comments or if you're going to drop into a chat here. Let me know what you think. I'm not real sure where I stand on this idea. Well, I think we'll go down, and I always want to rely on Gary V to give me some clarity. This is a recent post by Gary V. Gary Vaynerchuk, one of the largest marketers in the world. He's got offices in London and Australia and Asia, and he's got 3,000 some odd employees. He's sort of a YouTube original. He's been online for decades. So, and I really like his approach. His approach of being accountable for your own actions and being optimistic, and how he thinks that being in America is the best thing that we have going for us, that we're only limited by our own doubts. Here's the thumbnail of the video. It's a short 4 or 5 minute video, and what I want us to do, I want you to take a look at what he does. And you can do this, you can do a similar video to this every day. It's only 5 minutes long. He's sitting in the back of his car talking to his iPhone. It's nothing real fancy. It's very simple. And there's no reason that you and I cannot do this on a daily basis and add this content to our channels. He's got a very simple thumbnail, took a screenshot from the video, and then has this big 2 or 3 word text here, this title. And his title is, it's You versus You, the reality check you need. So let's get a reality check from Gary V before we hang this thing up for the day.
Nobody's going to be able to help you. You're going to be the only person that's able to help yourself. And if you think the people that are using fear and negativity to get your attention and you're saying they're right, they're just selling you darkness and you're buying it. And for some reason you think that if you take that darkness and then you deploy hating somebody else, a system, a government, a president, hating a gender, a race, a person that looks different than you, that you're gonna take your unhappiness, you're gonna repackage it because somebody got into your head, and you're gonna use that as hate to tear down somebody else because you think that's gonna be good for you? You think that's gonna be good for you? You're fucking losing out here, partner. You're fucking losing out here, my friend. If you're fucking spending your time hating on others, canceling people on the left, hating on people on the right, country to country, religion to religion, if you're watching this in the Middle East, in Eastern Europe, in America, trying to divide people, even within your own family, you're mad at your brother because he's happy and successful, that's on you. He's not trying to make you feel bad. He's just happy. He can't help but project it. He's happy. And so what, you're mad at him? You want to tear him down? You want to talk shit to your other siblings or your parents about him because he's happy? This is an inside game. It's you versus you. It's you with you. It's only you and you. And too many of you right now are succumbing to consuming darkness. And that's your fucking fuck up. So take on the accountability. Take on the accountability and say it's my job to start being more optimistic and happier, and I'm going to seek out humans and content that does that. This is the first day that I'm gonna go on the mental scale. Just like when you have to lose 30 pounds, you go on the scale and you're like, okay, I'm $190, I gotta get to 160. Let this be the video, let this be the second in your life that you get on the mental scale and say, I'm too cynical, I'm too scared, I'm frightened, I'm insecure, which is why all this other bad shit's happening, and I'm ready to do something about it, And that first thing to do is to cut out the negativity in your life. Cut the news the fuck out. Cut all the people in your fucking social that are fucking negative. Cut the people in your real life. Cut them down. You don't have to cancel and completely cut out your mom. You just might be able to talk to her once a month for 5 minutes instead of 3 times a day for 15 and just have her talk negative nonsense to you. You know, that's the biggest issue that people hear me, they're like, I can't cut my brother out. I don't want you to. I want you to cut down your brother. Limit your brother. If your brother is fucking bringing negativity to you an hour at a time every single day, that is seeping into your soul. And look around your homies. Negative people love to hang out with negative people. Negative people love to hang out with negative people. You just sit in a fucking circle on your text thread or in your fucking, at your fucking coffee shop in the morning or after work at the bar or on the softball team or in the office. You just love hanging out with each other and saying why everybody else is fucked up. Joe Biden fucked up. Donald Trump fucked up. My mom fucked up. Our boss fucked up. The CEO fucked up. Billionaires fucked up. Gen Z fucked up. The millennials fucked up. When did you fuck up? When did you fuck up? You know what keeps me happy as fuck? I talk to myself more about what I fucked up about than what I've accomplished. And let me make it very clear to you, I'm incredibly proud of how big one list is versus the other, and yet all my focus goes onto the accountability of what I suck at, and that doesn't bring me down, that makes me happy. Because I take on the accountability, I'm like, what can I do about it? How do I make it better? What can I do about it? Can that be apologizing to somebody? Or can that be about changing my behavior? Often both. Negative people think they're tricking somebody with their negative words. I come across negative people every day of my life, and I listen to all of their nonsense. And they really think they're tricking me into thinking it was someone else. It's fucking you. If you can afford it, therapy. If you can't afford it, use the free therapy that's on YouTube and podcasts every fucking day. Fuck, do something about it. Because one day you're gonna wake up and it's gonna all be over and you're gonna be dead forever. And you're gonna regret it. It's time, change your life. Because nobody else is gonna change it for you. There'll be people that come along that wanna be the assist. I'd love to be the assist. I'd love to fucking be the assist. Boy, would I love to be the assist. I'd love to bounce it right down the lane and have you dunk it, but I can't be the one that scores the points. That needs to be you. See ya.
All right, words of wisdom before we leave today. One thing that I've done is started staying away from the news. I used to watch the news and spend an hour or so going over it every day, and it's so depressing, so negative, and I get so tired of it. So the one thing that has made me a much happier man is I want to know what's going on, so I scan the headlines, but I don't do a deep dive on any of it unless it affects me personally. I just stay away from it, and it's so much better when you don't have all of that garbage feeding you on a daily basis. And I'm taking the approach that I've got way too much other stuff to spend my time on than doing an hour and a half deep dive into Fox News or CNN or whatever it is, and looking at the news that's just going to do nothing but depress me. So take that for what it's worth. Well, thanks for being with me today. Looks like our time is up. We're going to call it right here. I'll be back on Thursday, 2 p.m. Central Standard Time, and we'll continue to talk about social media, YouTube, whatever else comes up. So thanks for being with me. Go out, make it a good day, do something nice for somebody, and until Thursday, I hope you have a good day and a good time in your world making content. Go out there and make some good content over the next couple of days, okay? We'll see you then.
And when you ba-da-ba-da-ba